We had exactly the same thing last time Trump was elected. The dollar was strong, rates went up, liquidity contracted, the market had a big rally, which is Bitcoin, and then in January, because of the lag, what we found was a sharp 27% correction in Bitcoin. And then it ripped higher. Ripped higher so much, in fact, that it went up 23x. Now, I'm not expecting that because this was a much earlier cycle. But what we're saying is that correction is not to fear. That correction is just a marker point from phase 1 of the banana zone to phase 2 of the banana zone.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Raoul Pal is here to share his insights, analysis, and celebration of the banana zone. From what to expect throughout this cycle to risk management strategies, Raoul is here to educate us all on how to ignore the FOMO, stick to our convictions, and more.
Phase 2 of the banana zone usually goes into US tax season, which is like April. Then there's usually a consolidation because people have to sell tokens to pay taxes. And then there's usually phase 3 of the banana zone is the rip into year end. And that's all driven by the liquidity cycle. So we can see these banana zone periods as they start appearing. Bitcoin just does this every time, like Doge does. So we've just broken that part of the cycle. So this is the start of the banana zone as we start accelerating higher. Going back to liquidity, here's global M2. You see, global M2 does this a lot. It also wedges. I love a wedge. They're the best chart patterns in the world. And what happens is it has a break higher, then this consolidation. It's happened every time we've got to the banana zone period, the kind of US election cycle, stuff like that. So we've done that. We've corrected the breakout. Now, global M2 is actually driven by the strength of the dollar. Now, the dollar has started to weaken. We expect it to weaken going forwards. And that will then reignite the next phase of the banana zone as we start bouncing higher. You can see those corrections in M2 were short. Now, the reason being is we've got to roll all of this global liquidity. We've got massive amounts of debt to roll over, and you need liquidity to do it. So that is the game, the big game, the everything code game that I've talked to you about. So the everything code game is very much at play. This is a phase, the early phase of the breakout. This year is the year of liquidity, and that's why the year ahead, and that's why the banana zone plays out so beautifully. So we talked about global M2 being driven by the dollar. So let's look at the dollar, and also rates is the other part of financial conditions and liquidity. So what we're finding is that the dollar, as you can see, and rates had moved away from trend. That was the strength that we saw. This is what creates the down move in global liquidity. Now, what's interesting is the Citi Economic Surprises Index, which is an index of whether the economy is beating forecasts or underperforming forecasts, says we should now have a period of underperforming forecasts because it was driven by the tightening of conditions from the dollar and rates.
Galaxy Digital's research division predicts that the United States government will not buy any Bitcoin in 2025, but will safeguard its existing supply. The U.S. government will not purchase Bitcoin in 2025, Galaxy Research head of research Alex Thorns said in a December 27 report. Thorns said that instead, the U.S. government will create a stockpile using Bitcoin, which it already holds, while discussions on a Bitcoin reserve policy will continue. There will be some movement within the departments and agencies to examine an expanded Bitcoin reserve policy, Thorns said. According to Spot on Chain, the U.S. government holds 183,850 BTC worth around $17.36 billion across various known addresses. Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis proposed Bitcoin Act 2024, if passed, would enable the U.S. government to insert Bitcoin into its treasury as a reserve asset by buying 200,000 BTC annually over 5 years, accumulating 1 million Bitcoin, which it would hold for at least 20 years. Another Galaxy analyst, J.U., said there is a possibility that up to 5 NASDAQ 100 companies in 5 nation-states may add Bitcoin to their balance sheets or sovereign wealth funds. A stronger U.S. stance on Bitcoin adoption could trigger a race to mine or acquire Bitcoin among nation-states, according to J.O. Competition among nation-states, particularly unaligned nations, those with large sovereign wealth funds, or even those adversarial to the United States, will drive the adoption of strategies to mine or otherwise acquire Bitcoin. On December 26, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said he does not have enough understanding of movements by countries like the U.S. and others regarding adopting Bitcoin reserves. It is difficult for the government to express its views, Ishiba said. Meanwhile, former Binance CEO Changpeng CZJO said China would be one of the countries that adopt a strategic Bitcoin reserve. At the Bitcoin MENA conference in Abu Dhabi on December 9, Zhao said he believed smaller countries would likely be the first to adopt a Bitcoin reserve, but the change could happen slowly.
Now, obviously, we know if the economy starts underperforming forecasts, like we just saw the unemployment rate rise to 4.2%. Once we start to see things like that happening, what happens is people start thinking about we need to cut rates more. So that's a very interesting thing. So here in white is rate cuts priced in. Very few rate cuts priced in. So there's I don't know what the scale is here, but there's very little rate cuts priced in, but it's driven on a forward basis by the dollar and the long end. So it's now saying, as we weaken economic growth, we should start to see rate cuts. And then, as you can see, we're starting to see the pickup again in financial conditions, which is important, and I'll comment to that in a minute. So when you put it all together, they're all the same thing. Fed rate cuts, the DXY, 10-year bond yields, they're all highly mirroring each other. 10-year bond yields seem to be suggesting faster and faster that the dollar should roll over and rates should roll over too. That creates financial conditions. And now what we've got here is financial conditions index, which is rates, the dollar and oil prices, has been consolidating for a period of time. And it is suggesting that the ISM, which is the business cycle, the Institute of Supply Managers survey, should be much higher, i.e. we've got economic growth to come. It leads by 9 months. So in 9 months' time, the economy will be a lot stronger than it is today. And this is going to be important for you. So all of the stuff we talked about, rates, the dollar, even oil prices, all drive financial conditions, which drives cryptocurrencies, which drives markets in general, which drives the business cycle.
Ethereum has been marred by underperformance over the last 18 months, seeing Bitcoin and a swath of other alternative Layer 1 coins, including the likes of Solana and Sui, dramatically outperforming it. While Ethereum has gained 88% in the last 18 months, Sol has posted a 1,040% gain, and SUI has rallied 448% in the same time frame. Ethereum got sandwiched in 2024 between two shining objects: Bitcoin, which attracted a huge amount of institutional interest, and Solana, which gained traction with retail investors. Ethereum was the odd man out, Bitwise Chief Investment Officer Matt Hogan told Cointelegraph. However, many crypto pundits believe the election of Donald Trump in the United States and the expected crypto-friendly stance of key agencies under his new administration could mark the turning point for the performance of Ethereum in the crypto market. After all, the incoming president's family launched its own decentralized finance project, World Liberty Financial, on the chain. Experts are looking at a swath of new developments for a bullish stance on Ethereum heading into 2025, ranging from the demise of financial nihilism to a complete overhaul of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, positive regulatory developments, Ethereum exchange-traded fund staking, and increased Commodity Futures Trading Commission oversight of crypto. Ethereum is poised to benefit more than other protocols, especially since it's just a lot bigger and more mature than all the other ecosystems other than Bitcoin, which is mature but narrow in its purview. Consensus CEO Joe Lubin told Cointelegraph at DevCon 2024. At the same time, the gloss has started to come off Solana, whose Sezzle token peaked at an all-time high of $264 a month ago, but has since retreated to $192 amid concerns over looming token unlocks. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.